Over the last few years, we have had a baby boom here at Great Day Houston. I'm not drinking the water. Actually, I'm too old to drink the water. But anyway, that's a look at some of the kids, the staff members here at Great Day Houston. We've all been there. It's midnight. You finally went to sleep, and then you hear tiny feet coming down the hallway. Do you go in for the all-out cry fest, or do you give in and let them climb into your bed so you can finally get some sleep? Co-sleeping has taken place around the world for centuries, so what's the big deal? On the other hand, are you creating a clingy kid who lacks confidence? We're back with Dr. Joan Shook with Texas Children's Hospital and Dr. Tarnow with the Tarnow Center for Self-Management. All right, before we get to that family bed, oftentimes how it starts is out of our own convenience. And so you're breastfeeding, you lay there, and the baby's, you can just roll right on over, just like that, in the middle of the night. You're good, baby's in the bed. Problem is, babies oftentimes stay in the bed for a while.
Yes, and it's extremely dangerous for the newborn infant to be in the bed with an adult. Frequently, what happens is that the adults fall deeply asleep and then can roll over on top of the baby, which can result in death, honestly. So it's really important that when a baby is young, that they sleep on a firm surface, they sleep on their backs, which is different than it used to be, different than what grandmothers would tell you. Then I'll have no sort of stuff around them, and after they nurse or are fed, need to be placed back into a secure environment. There are all kinds of cool little gizmos that attach to people's bedsides now so that the baby is safe and secure.
Yeah, because I had my son like the little Moses basket in the bed because I was so afraid something was going to happen to him while I was asleep, which Lisa has this question. She says, the thought of sudden infant death syndrome terrifies me. I can't get through the night because I keep worrying about my newborn. What can I do to help myself relax? That's the other reason why some people keep the baby like in the bed.
Yes, and I think putting them in the room with you in a secure environment is one way to make yourself feel a little more comfortable. And I think Dr. Tarnow probably has some other great ideas about relaxation or something that I don't understand very well.
No, I think that some mothers are always going to be anxious, and they're going to worry about anything that they see on social media, especially, right? And I think that what's important is moms need to be relaxed. And how do you get from that state of constant worry and concern to relaxation? So I think all mothers need to learn meditation. I think learning how to meditate or some method to calm yourself.
Because there's our anxiety, babies feel that, don't they?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely they do.
Because their way of communicating is their feel and their touch, right? So that's very important, and they can feel that. They can feel the heartbeat. But well, not every mother, but many mothers go and have preparation for childbirth, right? Yeah. That's a time to learn about the breathing, because it's going to help you through childbirth and doing Lamaze method or whatever. And that way will also help you being a mother for that first year of life where you really worry a lot.
All right, so I can ask any room and say to women, okay, and men too, it's like, how many of you have your children in the bed with you? And the hands start to go up. So, children in the bed. It's been done for centuries around the world. Sometimes it's because there's limited bedrooms. Other times it's because parents don't want to say no. I mean, like, okay, when my son would come walking down the hallway, and look at that face. How do you say no to, Mommy, can I sleep with you? Right? Okay, so good and bad, pros and cons.
Your concern is about the health of the child.
The health and safety of the child.
The health and safety.
Absolutely.
My concern is that going to sleep is a very important process for all humans. It's about how do you calm yourself and how do you relax. And that's what you want to teach the child. So my concern is we all have to sleep alone at some point in our lives, and we need to learn how to do that. And you learn that in the first 5 years of life. And I think it's very, very important to teach children that. If your child is having major difficulty with that separation anxiety, then talk to your pediatrician about it. You know, let's see if there's something that needs to be done more intensive to work on it. Yeah, to help that.
Normal for them to have that separation moment in the beginning, but you got to be diligent at least 3 nights in a row of putting them back in their bed, and things start to
I would say that's important to sort of have a routine, keep to the routine, let them know what the boundary is. I agree with Dr.
The routine is the key, right? I mean, we become so hectic at night sometimes, and it's important to have this rhythm that's going on to help the child into the rhythm of calming themselves.
Yeah.
And so the parent has to be calm. And then worst comes to worse. If your child, you can't get them to be in their bedroom, in their bed, then put a mat on the floor. Don't put them in the bed.
Yeah.
Do not put him in the bed.
Yeah, I actually left the bed and went to his bed, and he woke up the next morning. I was like, where did y'all go? We were in your bed. You had the cool car bed, right?
The only exception I would say
Yes.
is that occasionally, if a child is ill or there's huge
scared. Thunder, lightning one night,
thunderstorm,
maybe.
something, it's okay occasionally to break the rules, but be clear about why the rules are being broken.
Okay. Travis has this question here. He says, my 3-week-old son has developed heavy acne over just a few days. We're not using formula, lotions, or other products on his face. What could be causing this? And anytime you see it visually, you look at that and you think something's really wrong here. But some things are also very normal as babies start to adjust to being out of the womb.
Yeah, this is called neonatal acne. It's very common. It is sort of normal skin development after they're coming out in the world, exactly as you said. Just wash the face with water and keep it nice and dry, and it will resolve on its own. If you get concerned, it gets redder rather than better, that's another good time to call your pediatrician and see if there's something else that needs to be done, but it'd be unusual.
All right, up next, potty training. That one's one too, where you're like, enough already, right? And it's like a test of wills. And I think sometimes that's what it comes down to, right? That they're like, you can't make me do anything.
Well, that's that 2-year-old, right?
Yes.
The 2-year-old is, you can't make me, because that is their developmental stage. Their developmental stage is now all of a sudden being able to walk and run around and have motor control. So they want to have control over everything. And that includes whatever mommy says not to do or to do, that they're going to be oppositional.
So instead
That's
of
what
terrible
terrible
twos, maybe it's training twos.
Exactly, because you need to work with them and develop their ability to manage themselves. And that's my emphasis so much in terms of parenting.
Yeah.
I completely agree, and most children will kind of let you know when they're ready. They will allow you to know that they're kind of tired of being wet, or they really hate the way that their diaper smells, and they'll give you the clue that they are ready.
Yeah.
Rather than forcing it on them before that they have that wherewithal, it makes sense to allow them to give you the clues.
This is another issue that a lot of people have, is like when to socialize their children. Leonard says, my wife stays at home with our 2-year-old son. I'm concerned he won't be socialized by the time he gets to pre-K. So that give and take of whether you should stay at home bonding with that parent or put him in daycare at least sometime during the week, or let him play. Oh, you're like, as we enter flu season, she's like,
keep them at home. But the babies interacting with adults is really the way that we're programmed to develop. All of that interaction is extremely important. It isn't to the exclusion of interacting with other
kids,
children, but that's not required at the age of 2. And if you watch a room full of 2-year-olds, they're like all playing, but they're not playing together.
Right.
Because to Jay's point, that's not their developmental level.
The modeling is coming from a higher level, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we have to focus on. With toilet training, when is the child ready? Follow the child and reward.
Right.
So, and in terms of mothers staying at home, those first few years are very, very important around that bonding.
Yeah.
And if you have the ability to have a nanny, or if you go to work, that is really important, to have that solid relationship with that child.
Yeah. All right, coming up, tweens and teens. Did aliens swoop down and replace your child with a monster? The segue between childhood and adulthood can be tough. As we go to break, here's a clip from the recent movie 8th Grade. Social media has added a whole new level to how kids interact with each other.
Most quiet, Kayla Day.
I don't talk a lot at school, but if people talk to me and stuff, they'd find out that I'm like really funny and cool and talkative.
By the way, I like your shirt a lot. It's like so cool. What?